All right, welcome on in everyone to First CSP for another episode of Sunday Special. Here again, we're going to be revisiting a First CSP issue to look at providing more accurate information. You might remember that in episode 54, we took a look at Land O'Lakes 269, and when we were looking at the most current collecting guide, they have listed Land O'Lakes 269 is having two issues, the S1A and S1B, as identified by the type of fleur-de-lis, either type 1 for an S1A and type 2 fleur-de-lis for an S1B. They do list there is a range of thickness in the tree trunk. Now, as we have said in our previous Sunday special where we addressed the updating of information for Sayota, this is a similar case where that S1A used to be S1A and B, and the S1B used to be S1C and D. There are four variations that were identified when we go back and look at, say, the 2004 collecting guide. So that's what we're back here to take a look at today. Before we only presented the S1A and B that are listed in the current guide. Now we're going to go back again, add the information to take a look at the formerly listed S1A, B, C, and D so you can help have the most accurate information for identifying CSPs for your collection or just entertainment purposes. Let's take a look at the patch table. So here you can see that both the patches on the table have a type 1 fleur-de-lis, but when we go back to the descriptions from 2004's collecting guide, we see that the S1A, which is at the top of the screen here, is denoted as having a thin trunk, and the S1B is denoted as having a noticeably thicker trunk. We do see a difference, obviously, in the color of the dark green border. They are both in the collecting guide just listed as a dark green border, but the S1B is a much darker green. We do see a bit of a difference in the colors of brown for the trees. The thin trunk is a darker brown than is on the thick trunk. So if we go back to the 2004 collecting guide, this would be S1A at the top and S1B at the bottom. If you were looking at this in the lens of the most current guide, the 2023 quarter 3, they will both just be an S1A. We have updated the back of our patches as well. So we're essentially maintaining identification in accordance with the 2004 collecting guide. So these are now the S1A and B, and then we're going to show you the S1C and D with type 2 fleur-de-lis as well. Kind of made a decision, an executive decision from our point of view, that where we're able to get those intermediate issues and be able to provide you them in video format, we want everyone to have as much information as possible. All right, so there's the S1A and B. Now we'll take a look at the C and D. So D at the bottom, C up here towards the top. We can see again, both of these are now type 2 fleur-de-lis. And in the most current collecting guide 2023, they're going to list these as just S1B. If you go back to 2004, this is the S1C and the S1D, and it actually repeats the same pattern that A and B did. So the C has a thin trunk and the D has a thick trunk. Again, you can see differences amongst the patches. Besides that, we're going to have the lettering be exceptionally thin comparatively. On the S1D, you get much thicker letters on the S1C. That is throughout the state name as well. So we can definitely see other variations between the two, but the thickness of the tree trunk is one of the easier things to identify, and that is what they've used in the collecting guide as the main point of differentiation. Flip these over just to look at the backs. That is the S1C and S1D from the 2004 guide. Again, ends up being a little more descriptive than current collecting guides. So that is this episode of Sunday Special. We do hope you enjoy these update videos as well, providing just additional information on some of the first issues that we've already highlighted on the channel. Where we become aware of that additional information, we've been trying to resource these additional issues to be able to bring them to you on the channel. And going forward, for issues that we have yet to present, we are trying to go back and pull as much of the more detailed information from collecting guides as possible to try and help you, all the viewers, get the most accurate picture for your entertainment or collecting purposes. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all for coming and watching the videos on the channel. We really appreciate being able to share this with you. We'll be back again tomorrow with another brand new episode of First CSP, so we hope to see you then. But until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend.